Good morning to one and all. Today we are going to see our first lecture of DBMS. So our course outcome of our first unit is to design ER model for given requirements and convert the same into database table. The objective which we are going to study from today's lecture is we will study the basics of DBMS. So what is basically DBMS? It is one of the important subject in engineering. Why? Because if you are preparing for GATE, then one of the important subject is DBMS. According to interviews point of view, many questions are asked on queries related to DBMS. So top companies like Google, Facebook, Amazon works on the concept of DBMS. Now, what is database system? Companies like IRCTC, Facebook, Flipkart, Amazon, they have their own database system to store the data. Basically, a database system consists of two things. First is database, that is collection of related data, and another one is DBMS, which is collection of operation performed on database. So operation which is used to manipulate the data stored in the database is nothing but your DBMS. So what is database? It is a collection of interrelated data. Now interrelated means the data which is related to each other. Now related data, we can see we can take an example of IRCTC. See what information the app is going to store. The information like passenger information, what is the name of the passenger, what is the age, what is the birth date. So if you are booking for a ticket from source to destination, that is when you want to travel, on which date, which will be which coach you want. So that all particular information which is related to particular app, that will be stored in your database. Now the app is not going to store the data information like database of passport office. It will be stored in their particular app. So the related data, that is the information which is related to each other, that will be stored in your database. Now database system, it is divided into two, structured data and unstructured data. The structured data means the data is stored in a particular structure. Like if you talk about database management system, the data will be stored in a table format like your Excel sheet. The data is stored in like that way. The data will be stored in a tabular format in DBMS. But if we talk about unstructured data, we can say the data which is not in a particular format. Like if we talk about web pages, it consists of videos, text, video, link, images, which can be present anywhere. Okay, so there is no specific format. But if we talk about the data of our earth, 90% of data on the earth is unstructured. Okay, and the concept like Hadoop, big data, all these technologies are working on such unstructured data. As we are going to see DBMS, we are going to study DBMS, so we will focus on only structured data. Now DBMS, it is a collection of operation. Now what operation? Now see, if the passenger wants to book a ticket, he will perform insert operation. If you want to make changes in the already booked ticket, then he will perform update operation. Then if he don't want to go and he want to cancel it, then you can perform delete operation. So this operation are performed on the data which is already stored in your database, that is your DBMS. So which are the different companies? So we have SQL Server database, which is owned by Microsoft. We have Oracle 9i, 11, 12c. These are the versions which is owned by Oracle. We have MySQL, again owned by Oracle. We have DB2, which is owned by IBM. So if we talk about practical, which is related to database, so we are going to use MySQL to write our queries, to execute our queries. We are going to use the Oracle. Okay, the both are owned by Oracle company. Now next one is, what are the applications of database? See, where the database we are using means we are storing the data in a tabular format. We are storing in airline system. We are storing in your universities. We have sales like Amazon, Flipkart. So there also we are storing the data in a tabular format. Then in manufacturing company, regarding production or inventory or order, supply chain, then payment section, all the data in such sections, the data is stored in a tabular format. If human resources like employee records, we have ERP, we have salary, tax deduction, everything the data is stored in a tabular format, where we are using the concept of DBMS. So these are the application, these are the areas where we are going to use the concept of database management system. See, according to students' point of view, if you are performing registration like simple Gmail account you want to open, we have some tabular format. We are storing the data, your name, address, phone number, regarding what information there, regarding registration, all will be stored in a backend in a tabular format. If you want to see your result, the result will be showed in a tabular format. So these are the applications where the data is stored in a tabular format, and we are going to use the concept of DBMS. Now the important point is, before using the database, before storing the data in a tabular format, how the data was stored, where the data was stored. So before DBMS, we are storing the data in file system. So file system is nothing but, if you are using a laptop, we have OS. OS is nothing but a file system. In OS we have drives, we have folder, we have subfolder. So that is in a hierarchical manner, one inside the another, inside the another. In that way we are storing the data before using the concept of DBMS. Okay. So why we are using the concept of DBMS? Now this is the important question. Why? So in DBMS we are using the concept of client server architecture. Client is nothing but the user, the programmer, and server is the thing where the data is stored in your database. So this is the diagram where the client, that is the user, and this is the data, the actual storage, so that is your database system. So this is your server part. Now if you talk about you want to access any particular result, or you want to see any particular table, what you will do? The user will write the application. The application is nothing but the language which we are using. So we can say about MySQL or Oracle, whatever language you are using, you will write the application, you will write the query in MySQL. So through particular network, so after writing the application, after writing the query, then you will forward this query to your database, to your storage, and after the storage has received the particular query, he will fetch the result and he will give back to the user. So in this way our database is going to work, and that's why we are using the concept of DBMS. So next is, why we have switched from file system to DBMS. See, there are many drawbacks related to file system. We will see one by one. Now first, one of the drawback is searching the data. Now see, if I want to go from Mumbai to Bangalore or Hyderabad, so what I will do, I will search for a particular date that on Saturday is the train is available. Now I want to just search whether the particular train is available on a particular date. Okay, so what information is to be searched? Only 1 KB of data, that is the train information. Now if you are using the file system, okay, in a file system all the data, all the trains information of all over India will be stored. So that particular data will be of, for example, 25 GB. And if you are searching for the particular train, that is 1 KB of data, the result will be, the system will give 25 GB of data. So what will happen? To search 1 KB among 25 GB, lot of time will be required. Again, to store this 25 GB of data, lot of memory will be required. So this is the one of the disadvantage of file system. But if you are using DBMS, you will write down, select the train on particular date, that is Saturday, and you will get the result within some second. So only 1 KB of data will be the result. So this is the disadvantage of your file system. Now next one, if you are using file system, then the particular file which is to be searched, you will give the path like it is present in a C drive, it is present in program files, then within program file there is a folder. So you need to give the complete path to particular data to be searched. But there is no such location, that is there is no such concept to give the location in a DBMS. So searching is easy in DBMS. Next one is concurrency. Now concurrency means multiple user can access the data at same time. For example, if you talk about IRCTC, many users all over India will book the ticket. Now there is no such concept like one will book ticket, after that the person in Assam will book the ticket. There is no such concept. All over the states, many users are using the app, and at the same time they can book the ticket. So concurrency is there, means multiple user can access the data in DBMS, but there is no such concept in file system. In case of if you talk about security, see now security means, if you talk about there is a, in DBMS there is a role based system. Role based means, if you talk about a college, then there is a role of dean, there is a role of faculty, there is a role for student. Now what is the role? It is the authentication given to the user to access the data. For example, if you talk about attendance, then faculty can fill up the attendance, but the student can only view the attendance. So the privilege for student is to only to view the attendance, not to edit the attendance. This authority is given to faculty. Now if you talk about feedback of teacher, the feedback of teacher is given by the student, so the dean has the authority to view it. Okay, but the staff, that the faculty has no authority to access the information of feedback of teacher. So depending upon different user, different roles are given to particular user. So security is given in DBMS, and of course there is no authentication system, authentication in file system. Now next is data redundancy. Redundancy means duplication of data. Now if you talk about file system, one file, that is the roll call of all the students, this will be present in your C drive, D drive, E drive, within folder, within same folder. But we in DBMS we are using the concept of constraint, due to which there is no redundancy in data redundancy. Next is data isolation. See here, in file system the data is in various format. The same data can be present in a tabular format, can be present in PDF, can be in HTML file, can be in a text format. So there the data can be scattered everywhere, and to access the particular data you need a particular application which should support to access the particular file. So each time different application will be there to access the same file. But in DBMS, as the data is stored in a one particular format, that is in a table format, there is data isolation. Data is stored in a table format, so no need to write different application each time to access the data in DBMS. Okay, so these are the disadvantages of file system. Last one is atomicity. Now atomicity says that a particular transaction should happen should happen completely, or it should not happen happen at all. Okay, if you, for example, if you are transferring from fund from one account to another, okay, and in between suppose there is a failure, then if you are using DBMS you have to restart the application from the first step. Okay, and if there is no failure, then the particular transaction should be completely performed till end. Okay, so DBMS will the atomicity says that the particular transaction should happen completely or not at all. But a computer system, it is subject to failure. The system can be failure at any condition, at any time. So this can keep the, if you are using file system, the particular state will be inconsistent. Okay, the particular operation will be partial operation. So this is the disadvantages in file system, that the transaction will not be performed. So in DBMS we have the concept of atomicity. So we are using the transaction system, so it will so atomicity is performed in DBMS. So these are the disadvantages of a file system, which we can overcome by using concept of DBMS. So this in today's lecture we have seen some basic concept, what is the DBMS, okay, and we have seen the advantages of DBMS over your file system. Thank you.